So it is October and we are getting closer and closer to Halloween, and Halloween is my absolute favorite holiday. So I thought it would be cool to get into the Halloween spirit to do some spooky content for this month. What's going on, guys? I am Nick. Welcome to Nick Talks Batman, and the video title for this video is Batman's 8 Most Horrifying Villains. So let's get into this video ASAP. So coming in at number 8 is Humpty Dumpty, and this is not your father or grandfather's Humpty Dumpty. This guy has some serious issues. His first appearance was in Arkham Asylum issue number 2, and his real name is actually Humphrey Dumpler. And although he doesn't look very intimidating, his backstory is pretty disturbing. Dumpty suffers from a psychological disorder known as arrested development, which means he never progressed socially or emotionally as a child into adulthood due to childhood trauma. He had an abusive childhood, and apparently his grandmother was very abusive to him. And he's basically obsessed with putting back together broken mechanical objects, reassembling them and assembling them. He once surgically dissected his abusive grandmother and sewed her back together. So yeah, this dude has issues. Definitely not your grandfather's Humpty Dumpty. Definitely a horrifying Batman villain. Coming in at number 7, we have Clayface. He is a very popular Batman villain, and there's been a lot of different versions of him over the years, but we're going to focus on the Matthew Hagen version. His first appearance was in Detective Comics number 298. Hagen is a treasure hunter and discovers an unknown radioactive substance and accidentally exposes himself to it. The substance gives Hagen's body altering effects, which allows him to transform himself into any shape he wants, hence the name Clayface. As I said, Clayface is a pretty popular villain. He was really great in Batman the Animated Series, and some of those episodes with Clayface in them were pretty disturbing. Even as a kid, I remember watching them and I was pretty frightened. But he's a really awesome character, and he's a very frightening character. And they're actually doing a Clayface film right now. It's going to be more along the lines of a horror film, and it makes complete sense because, like I said, he's a pretty disturbing character, and I think it's going to be really good. Coming in at number 6, we have Calendar Man. Now, Calendar Man in his early days, he wasn't too intimidating, but as time went on, he got to be a really creepy villain. When The Long Halloween came out in the 90s, which is probably my favorite Batman story and definitely one of the top Batman comics out there, he was reimagined and he was super creepy in that book. His real name is Julian Day, and he is obsessed with the yearly calendar, and he basically commits crimes that coincide with holidays and certain dates. Though he doesn't look very intelligent, he actually is very intelligent. He creates mechanical machines that help him carry out his crimes. And as I said, he was very creepy in The Long Halloween, and in that story, there is a murder on the loose in Gotham, and someone is murdered every single holiday. And Batman consults Calendar Man while he sits in Arkham throughout the whole entire story, and Calendar Man only offers Batman clues to who the murderer is, basically very reminiscent of Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs. He's really creepy in this story, and if you haven't read The Long Halloween, I highly recommend it. Perfect for Halloween time right now. It's definitely a creepy graphic novel. And also, they did do an animated movie as well. Check that out as well. Coming in at 5, we have Victor Zsasz. And his first appearance was in Batman Shadow of the Bat number 1. Zsasz is a serial killer, and he carves a tally mark into his skin with a knife for each of his murders. Zsasz is extremely skilled with knives, and he has a very high pain tolerance. His reason for murder is that life is pointless and to bring order to humanity. Definitely another creepy Batman villain. He hasn't made any major appearances in any of the Batman films. He made brief cameos in Batman Begins, but he hasn't been used yet. He definitely could be used in Matt Reeves' trilogy. He's definitely a grounded character, but definitely a creepy character, and I believe he would make a pretty good villain. Coming in at number 4, we have the Ventriloquist, and his first appearance was in Batman number 538. And he is Arnold Wesker, who executes his crimes through a dummy known as Scarface, and the dummy was based off of the gangster Al Capone. Arnold saw his mother assassinated at a young age by a group of thugs, and that led him to suffering from dissociative identity disorder. And basically, he uses his dummy Scarface to carry out all his crimes. He's appeared in different Batman media throughout the years, but he was awesome in Batman the Animated Series. And if you haven't seen any of the episodes with the Ventriloquist in there in Batman the Animated Series, I highly recommend you check it out. He was really awesome in that. I think he's definitely an underrated Batman villain, and I think if they were to make a TV show, a limited series, or even a film, kind of like what they're doing now with Clayface, I think it would make a really cool show or film. You could definitely put a horror spin on this character, and I think it would do really well, and I think it would be really cool to do that. Coming in at 3, we have Professor Pig, and he was in issue 666. His real name is Laszlo Valentine, and this is another bizarre Batman villain. And Professor Pig, he suffers from schizophrenia, and he is obsessed with perfection. And he believes humans are all broken. So basically, he kidnaps all his victims, and he performs these demented surgeries on them to make them perfect in his eyes. And Pig calls his human creations Dollatrons. To turn his victims into Dollatrons, Pig uses drugs, lobotomy, and doll masks that are permanently molded into their faces. And Grant Morrison, the creator of Professor Pigs, says, "He is one of the weirdest, most insane characters that's ever been in Batman comics." Definitely another creepy villain. I mean, this guy could work in Matt Reeves' trilogy, as I said in one of my last videos. He definitely has a horror vibe going with him, and I definitely feel like he could fit into Matt Reeves' realistic world. Coming in at 2, we have the Joker. Not a surprise, you knew it was coming. The Joker, what more can we say about him? He's arguably one of the best, if not the best, villain in the comic world, and he really needs no intro. Joker really has no clear intent other than causing a lot of death and destruction. He's not really after money or power or anything like that. He just wants to kill and destruct, and he started off as a normal guy who was a struggling comedian, and he was basically forced to do a job for a gangster to make money. However, during the crime, he runs into Batman, falls into a vat of chemicals, which turns his skin permanently white and insane, and basically turns him into the Joker. The Joker has done a lot of awful things. He is famous for killing Jason Todd, one of the Robins, and that really messes Batman up for many years. And he's also famous for paralyzing Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, for shooting her. And basically what happens is she is shot and she's bound to a wheelchair. And, you know, the Joker has just done a lot of horrible, horrible things, and it really doesn't get any worse than the Joker. And finally, coming in at number 1, we have the Scarecrow. His first appearance was in World's Finest Comics, issue number 3. His alter ego is Dr. Jonathan Crane. Crane is a psychologist who is obsessed with phobias. He is known for developing a hallucinogenic drug known as fear toxin, which when inhaled by his victims brings out their worst fears. He was once a professor at Gotham University. However, he shot a gun in his classroom and accidentally wounded one of his students. He was fired by the university, and to get back at the university, he kills the professors that were responsible for his firing. Scarecrow is another crazy villain just like the Joker, who he just takes pleasure in torturing his victims and loves seeing them horrified in fear. There's been so many reincarnations of Scarecrow over the years. There's been a lot of good ones, and one of them was Batman: The New Adventures. I made a video of him not too long ago, and I really love the design that they chose for this guy. But if you really want to check out a really cool version of the Scarecrow and a scary one, check out Gotham Knights, and he is pretty scary and intense in that one. And if you haven't seen Gotham Knights, I highly recommend it. It is such an underrated animated Batman film. So please look out for my next video. It's going to be another creepy video for Halloween. And this, I'm going to talk about a collection of creepy episodes from Batman the Animated Series. So please look out for that. I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe.